The bookmarking system is a really easy way for users to add only the events that they're interested in scoring to a separate tab. This just makes navigating the app a lot easier. Right now, the app's pretty easy to navigate because there aren't many events listed, but eventually I want to expand beyond MMA into grappling, boxing, and non-combat sports like figure skating, gymnastics, diving, bodybuilding, anything that uses a judge-based system, I eventually want to expand into. So you can imagine this all events list, especially under the all filter, would be pretty long and maybe a little difficult for users to navigate. So that's why we've got the bookmarking system. With the bookmarking system, you can simply go into an event, click this button, and it's going to be added to the My Events tab. The first thing I'll point out before we go to My Events is in all events, you will see an indicator that it's been added to My Events already. So now we shift into the My Events tab, and there you see it. There's UFC 317 that's coming up this weekend. Inside of the events, of course, you see all of the individual fights. You can go into each fight as you see fit. And if you ever need to unbookmark something, let's say you did it by accident or you're no longer interested in that particular event, you can just click that button and it is going to disappear, and your indicator for bookmarked will also disappear under all events. So that's the bookmarking feature. Very, very simple, very easy to use. Importantly, I'll point out that you can go in and score these events as they open from either My Events view or All Events view, and they will sync across both of those tabs. So even if something is unbookmarked, let's say you unbookmark UFC 317, you'd still be able to come in and score these from all events. But of course, you won't be able to do it from My Events because you unbookmarked it and it's not going to show up there. So that's the bookmarking feature. Very, very simple feature, but I think it makes navigating the app much easier for users. Scoring is the main function of the app. It's why I built the app so that users could live score events. So if we go into UFC 317, it's coming up this weekend. Let's say that first bout starts. Users will be able to come in and see the individual rounds. So you can see now that round one, for example, is closed, obviously. But what happens is, let's say this fight starts. Round one is coming to an end. There's maybe 30 seconds left in the round. I have a separate web app that I've created that I call Mission Control. It's kind of like an admin portal. I will be watching the fight live with about 30 seconds left in round one. I will open judging for that round. I do it with about 30 seconds left to try to account for any kind of broadcasting delays. So it is possible that this opens before the round actually closes, in which case people might be able to sneak scores in before the actual round closes. But I have to account for the broadcast delay somehow. So you can see I pulled the refresh and now that round is open. So users will be able to come in here and submit their scores. Once you submit their final, one thing I'll point out is that it is a 10 must system. So there are guardrails. You wouldn't be able to submit a 9-9 or a 9-8 or a 10-10. You wouldn't be able to do that. There are some guardrails in the back-end logic that prevent you from submitting inappropriate scores for a 10 must system. Eventually, as I build this out and include other promotions or other sports, this will kind of have to be dynamic based on whether it's a 10 must or a total fight winner, which I know is the case in some of the one promotions, for example. But yeah, that's pretty simple. As round two starts, then if this was the case here, round one ends, you get your score, and round two starts about 30 or 45 seconds into round two. I go into Mission Control. I stop judging for round one. And then if the user pulls to refresh, this turns into a red lock, right? Let's say that this fight is ended in round two. In Mission Control, I end this sub-event. This individual fight is what I call a sub-event. Then if you pull to refresh, all of these become locked. Judging is closed. And then you can also see that this fight is ended with this red lock indicator on the event page. So it's really that simple. That's the entire scoring system. You'll see your running score here. And then if you look at past events, you can go in and see how you scored previous events by the round. So that's the entire scoring system. Again, I want it to be super, super easy, really intuitive for the user. I will point out that there are 3 big things on the roadmap that I'm working on. I want to eliminate this pull to refresh. That's the biggest thing. I don't want the user to have to manually refresh when rounds open and close for judging. I want that to be automatic broadcast right from the database. As soon as I hit start in mission control, I want them to open here without the need to manually refresh. On top of that, I want a push notification to be sent to the user that judging has opened, so that they don't have to open the app and see it. They can just boop, go right into it. And then the third big thing is I want to be able to just let users click to share to socials. So especially to X, as soon as you enter this, I want to have a button populate that says, just a share button that will auto populate your scores into a tweet, and then you can send it out. So those are the three big things that are on the roadmap that I'm working on now. And then, of course, once this gets out to more users, I'll be working on any kind of updating anything based on feedback from them. So that's the scoring system. Again, very easy, very straightforward, and it's the main function of the app. So hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any feedback. The fight of the night feature is exactly what it sounds like. It lets you pick a fight of the night. So for UFC 317, it's coming up this weekend. We won't actually submit the fight of the night until we've watched all of them and we make a decision. But I've got a pretty good feeling that it's going to be either our co-main event or our main event. So you would just go through. This will list all of the individual fights on the card. You pick the one that you want, and you go ahead and hit submit. I won't do that quite yet, but that's how you do it. Very simple, but very cool feature. Can't wait to see how everybody judges UFC 317s. If you're ever interested in seeing your past scores, you can simply go into My Events and then click this Past tab, and you'll be able to see all of the events in which you submitted any scores. So even if you didn't submit a score for all of the individual fights within an event, you'll still be able to come in and see the scores that you submitted for each of the ones where you did. Importantly, none of these have to be bookmarked. So as soon as you score something, even from an unbookmarked event, after that event has ended, they should populate in this past events. So that's a really easy way to go back in time and see how you scored individual fights. Okay, some quick notes on product roadmap. For iOS, as I was saying in the scoring video, I am working on removing that manual refresh. So in the individual rounds, open and close for scoring, the user at the moment has to do a pull to refresh on the iOS app. I want that to be real-time broadcast, all automatic. I don't want the user to have to do that refresh. So I'm working on that. Interestingly, I had that working actually a couple weeks ago, and now for some reason the real-time isn't working. So I think I found a separate way to do it that is promising. So hopefully that's done pretty soon. Kind of along the same lines, when that updates, when a round opens for scoring, I want the user to receive a push notification. And then related to that, in user profile, I want there to be kind of a settings page where you can go in and toggle that on or off. The last thing I want is for users to be getting constant push notifications that rounds are opening when they're not even watching the fights. I know how annoying those push notifications can be. So there should be some user settings page that allows you to disable those if you need to. Maybe even at the event level. Maybe you only want to receive them for certain events and not for others. So working on that. Click to share scores to socials. This one's should be really simple. As soon as you cast a score, there should be a button that says, do you want to share these to your social media? So you'll be able to link a social media account and then share scores with the click of a button. Really, that's just going to populate like a tweet that says you scored it for so-and-so. You maybe get the total score in there and then some hashtags. And of course, I'll always let users edit those tweets before they go out. So that one should be coming soon as well. I don't think that should be too difficult. The thing that's holding me back on that right now is that the X API that you have to call to post is kind of expensive monthly. So need to think through how to generate revenue from this to help offset the cost of that. In-app score aggregation. So after all user scores have been cast, there should be some way for you to see how everybody scored it, i.e. the crowd card. At the moment, I've got a separate script that I would run and then post like an image of the crowd card or the aggregated scores to my own socials, but there should be a way for individual users to see it in-app. So I'm working on that feature as we speak, still in the design phases for that. And then users should also be able to download their past scores. So right now you can go in and see individual rounds and individual fights that you've scored previously, but there's no way for you to quickly pull all of your scores. So I would like for users to be able to download it maybe as a CSV file in case you want to do any kind of analysis of your own scores or you just want them. I think you should have access to them. So working on some kind of download function for users' previous scores. Then, of course, I'm building out the web app. It should be the same exact UX, but on the web. So all of the features that you get in mobile, you should have on the web. And if there's enough demand, I will start working on an Android app. I've never built an Android app before, but I've also never built an iOS app before. So I have no doubt that I could figure it out, but I want to make sure that the demand is there before I start working on that. And I think there's more demand for web than Android, so going with web first. All right, there you have it. So that's the CrowdCard app. That's how it stands today. You did see there at the end that there's a roadmap where some new features are being developed as we speak, and then I'm sure things will get better over time as more people use it and I get more feedback. So we're going into test flight for an extended group of users, hopefully for UFC 317. Then we've got an off week for the UFC. So I'll hopefully be able to get some feedback from the people that use it this weekend, assuming people do use it this weekend and can use it this weekend. Hopefully it gets past App Store review in time for that to happen. But we have an off week. So my goal right now is to use that off week to implement any kind of feedback that I get from those test users and then open it up to everybody. So go live in the actual App Store, not just test flight for the following week. So that's my goal. That's what I hope happens. And I will keep everybody up to date and in the loop as those things develop. All right, that's what I've got. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any feedback. I'm out.